Hello my strange and charmed ones. Today I've got a really simple and quick DIY for you guys for your Filofax. I know a few of you have commented on a few of my recent Instagram photos because you guys have seen a very special little quirky file that I have in the front of my planner that I keep a couple of extra like little doodads and paper pads and sticky notes in, like so. And I know a couple of you have expressed interest in seeing how I actually create this very easy file to put in my planner. So I am going to show you guys how to do that right now. Okay, for this project, you are going to need a file folder of your choice. I'm using one from the Target dollar bins that was from earlier this year. I like these because they're already kind of coated like in a wax sort of plasticky seal, and they're already a folder, so they're kind of, you know, made to be a folder, so it's kind of appropriate to use a paper or something that's already a folder. Next thing you're going to need is a divider from your planner. This is going to fit a personal size planner. I've never done this for an A5, but you may be able to obviously adjust this for A5. But for now, I'm showing you guys how to make a file folder for a personal size planner. So I've got one of the dividers from my personal size. We're using this as a reference. Also, you need a cutting board. Obviously, I've got one down here. I've got a ruler to use as a straight edge. I've got a roller of permanent adhesive tape, some clear tape, a pencil for marking, an X-Acto knife, an individual hole punch, and a pair of scissors just in case we need them. Okay, so the first thing that I want to do with this folder is I want to mark off the size we need height-wise. So I'm just going to go ahead and line up my divider. And I'm going to take the pencil and just make kind of like a rough mark all the way across. I'm going to go ahead and actually open this up and do it the same on both sides, so I make sure I've got both sides lined up. Okay. Next thing we're going to need to do is go ahead and take the X-Acto knife, and we're going to cut all the excess off of this. So I'm going to use this, line up the marks that we've made for the height of the divider. Yeah, just want to make sure I get as close as possible. And then I'm just going to hold this down and I'm going to slice in. Perfect. And we're just going to verify, yep, it's about the height of the divider, so we're good. The next thing we've got to do is go ahead and create the actual pocket for the folder. And I've found that if you actually take these pages and fold them in on themselves, this actually becomes a really perfect size for a personal planner. So I'm just going to take the edges, fold them in on themselves, so that they're coming in and meeting at the center. So eventually it'll close like that. So now I see when I actually fold this up that I actually have a little bit of excess on one side. I guess I didn't do the best job cutting the actual edges. So I'm gonna go ahead and really quickly just try to take care of that and just make sure it all lines up. Okay, so that's much better. Now it's nice and flat across. So the next thing I've got to do is actually create an actual angle for the pocket. So I'm just going to pick arbitrarily like a place, and I think I like how that ends right in that area. There's really no rhyme or reason to this. I'm just kind of picking whatever I think will be a good size, you know, an angle for the actual folder to be. And I'm just cutting from in the center up here to give it a little flap on the side, all the way out to the edge. And right now I'm just marking it so that when I go to cut, I've got a nice straight edge to go by. So now what I've got to do is unfold it, line up with my straight edge again, and cut it up with my X-Acto. Perfect. On to the next side. Perfect. Now you see it lines up and it kind of creates that folder look. Sorry, I'm upside down. right? So we've got the folders set the way we want them. They close nicely and evenly. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do, instead of immediately jumping in and going ahead and gluing these in place, the next thing I like to do is go ahead and create the actual holes that are gonna hold the planner into place. So I'm gonna close this up, and the way that I like to have this is that I want to have it so that I can punch it into my planner this way, and it opens out from my planner. Theoretically, if you wanted to, you could go ahead and punch the actual closed side. So that's up to you. If you want to punch the closed side, you could punch the closed side. I choose to punch the open side. I think it gives a little bit more security, and I just like the way that it works in the planner. So what I'm going to do this is line up my divider, take my pencil, and darken in the area that I'm going to punch. And I'm going to do the same thing on the other side as well. Now, the reason I'm actually doing this with an individual punch instead of with my 6-hole punch is that my 6-hole punch actually won't punch through double layer of this actual paper because it's a little bit thicker, like I said, and it's a little waxy. So the best way for me to do this is with a single hole punch. So that is why I'm using a single hole punch, in case you are curious. So all I'm going to do is just go ahead and now line up my hole and punch. Okay, it's one side done. Now heading over to the other. Okay, so now I've got all of the punches in. So I've got the holes in. The next thing that I'm going to do is cut in little notches in these holes so that I can actually remove this file as needed. And the way that I like to do that is I just take a pair of scissors and I literally create almost like a triangular punch into, like a triangular slit into the actual circles. So let me cut a few and show you guys what that looks up close up. I like to do it triangular because it gives, I think it gives a lot of security to the actual hole, but it still gives you the ability to bring it in and out. So I don't know if you guys can see that. I'll put my finger behind it. You can see it looks like a little, kind of like a little triangle or a little V into the circle. So I'm going to go ahead and do that to all of the punches. Okay, so now all my notches are in my holes, so that this is now removable in and out of my planner. Okay, so now the next thing that I like to do is just run over the edges of this with my ruler or straight edge. I just want to make sure that this file is actually as compact and flat as it can be before I go ahead and start pasting it in place and closed. I think that way it actually will hold the paste much better if it's a little flatter. So just go ahead and do that. And that's just something I like to do. It's not like a necessary step, I just think it's necessary, so I like to do it. So now we've got the folder and it's all punched and such. So now we have to just go ahead and actually paste in the actual arms here. So I like to actually use the paste on the arm that's actually cut. And it's really important that we keep this really close to the edge. So I'm just going to put paste down this edge and up the side, and then we're gonna push it in place and do the other. Hold that in place. Give that a second to dry. And starting to hold, which is good. So I'll just move on to the next. And again, really slowly, just so I don't make a mess of this, and just on the edge. Now the final thing I like to do to give this pocket some extra security is add a little bit of clear Scotch tape. So what I'm just going to do is cut out a piece of Scotch tape that's actually the width of the edge, and I'm just going to line it up, flip, and secure the edge with the clear Scotch tape. And you can barely see, you can barely even notice that there's Scotch tape here. So that's keeping a little bit of extra security on the edges for you. And finally, I'm gonna put one piece just down the center. And just running my finger in there just to make sure that it's making contact with the paper behind it. Closing that up. Again, just pushing it so that everything actually is sticking in place. And now we've actually got the folder. So let me show you how this goes into your planner and how I like to use it. Okay, so here is my Kiki K planner. You guys have seen this before. And I've got the rings opened up because I actually like to keep this folder right in the front. And although this will pull in and out of your planner, I do like to, whenever I'm installing it, I do like to open the rings and just put them in so I'm not sort of messing with the actual little notches yet. So this is in the planner, and then what's really wonderful about this is that I can actually go ahead now and open this up very gently, and I've got a folder. And into this, I can actually just go ahead and stick different sorts of little pages, some page flags, whatever I need to have with me, I can just put that in and close it back up. And because this is notched on both sides, I can open it up from the opposite direction as well. So if I'm inside my planner, I can actually go ahead and access things from wherever I'm at, which I think is really cool. So wasn't that simple? I think this is a really quick and easy DIY that pretty much anyone can do. You just need a very few simple, kind of everyday sort of stationery supplies that I'm sure if you're a Filofax lover, you have a lot of these things just sitting around. And you can see, I'll give you guys kind of like a close-up of the folder. I think this is a wonderful way to kind of store extra little things in your planner. And the wonderful thing is that you can get these sorts of file folders very inexpensively from places like Target or even like Staples, and you can get like any pattern that you want. So you'll be able to create whatever sort of look you want in your planner or match your planner, whatever you're looking to do, you'll be able to create one of these little file folders. And I think they're wonderful because I think that with the notching in the sides, that they're very easy to put into your planner and take out. It's easy to kind of open this file up from wherever you are in your planner and grab little doodads and, you know, little sticky notes and whatever things you guys like to keep inside of your planner. This is a great way to kind of create extra storage, and you're doing it yourself. You don't have to go and buy something expensive, just making it at home with some very simple supplies. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please make sure to give it a like, and of course subscribe for more awesome videos by me. If there's any other DIYs you guys want to see, please let me know down in the comments, because I'm hoping to do maybe a little bit more DIY for you guys. Things that are like this, some simple things that you can put into your planner that'll kind of help you to stay organized and kind of keep your planner looking beautiful and yet utilitarian. Until the next video, bye-bye. Hello my strange and charmed ones. Today I'm going to show you 7 ways to style a scarf for fall. Starting off with this blanket scarf that I actually